Hi, let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm always saying 1, 2, 3, 4. Always saying 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it works. Okay. Hey, all right. It is working. I am streaming live to you through the power of the internet. Woo! I just came on here to say hi. Hi, Luca. How you doing? Yeah, it's night before Thanksgiving. If you guys aren't Americans, Thanksgiving is a holiday in November, which kind of kicks off the holiday season for us here in America. And it is the folklore behind it is that it is the time when the Indians helped the pilgrims, the settlers, out early on, and so everyone gives thanks for all their blessings, and that's what we're celebrating. So hello everybody, hello Alien Drone Service, Pharaoh Scene Films, Fawad Farouk, Sir Styles the Machinist. Well, yep, except for Shroki Maru Merconcini. I'm going to have to hard to say that. So hi all you guys. I'm just kind of hang out with you guys for a little bit because I did a podcast for video makers. That'll be out hopefully this year, end of this year, and I had the camera set up, so I figured why not just jump on here and hang out with you guys and talk a little bit more about filmmaking. There's nothing I like more than talking about filmmaking with people that hopefully also like filmmaking or films or motion picture or whatever. So happy Thanksgiving, Andrew Fontanella. So big news is coming up here. As far as like video, as far as stuff to watch, we've got the Expanse. If you've been watching my live streams with my friend Joe, we talk about the Expanse all the time, and the Expanse is coming up. Hey, Sir Styles, Jacob Tucker, how you doing? Class of 2000. Oh my God! Look at how gray we are now. Oh my! Or how gray I am now. Holy moly! So yeah, the Expanse is coming up. So we're all excited about the Expanse. If you haven't watched The Boys season 2, you gotta watch your season 2. Can I share my favorite films with us? Sorry if you've already stated this. I really am a big fan of Stanley Kubrick. I love. Like Doctor Strangelove is one of my favorite movies. Clockwork Orange. I have not yet seen Barry Lyndon. Still working on that. Working my way around to get into that. 2001 I think is really good. Magnus said, yeah, The Boys season 2. I think the season 2 of The Boys was even better than the first. So those are some of my favorite movies, and I like movies that tend to be smaller in form. I think one of my favorite movies actually is The Big Kahuna. If you guys want to talk about Big Kahuna, check out that movie from the 90s. You want to talk about what you can do with a very, very small cast and very, very few locations. One location. Awesome movie. Daniel Berg says, I'd love to see you make a tech video on color space. I think a topic don't know much about. Absolutely fantastic suggestion. That's going to take a while because I have to learn a lot about it, but that's a great idea. Color space is a very, very difficult topic. Even color in general. I want to do a video. I love to do a video, revisit the whole science of color, because the whole idea that I think people don't realize that color is not really a thing. You know, color is a thing of the imagination. It's how our brains interpret different wavelengths of light, but the color itself doesn't really exist. Oh, Cap Disillusion did a video on that? Oh, great. Well, maybe we should just go check out his video and save me the trouble. I tend to go a little more detailed than Captain Disillusion. He does really good popular stuff. I think mine would be, here's the math of color space. It's going to be dry, and there's no music or special effects. Here's color space. But what did I think about Pi, Aronofsky? I didn't really care for it. It was a little weird. I did see it when it was back when it came out. Pi is not my favorite movie. It's a little too weird. I had a harder time following that one. Magnus Video says, color makes you feel psychological emotions. I agree with that. You know, what's interesting is I was watching a video that a commenter put on my feed today, and it was in black and white. It's a black and white noir, and I thought, ooh, there's something about this. It's very inky. I call it inky black and white, where it's either white or it's black, and there's very little grays in it. And it looked so cool. I was so intrigued by the look of that film. I oftentimes I find myself watching experimental shorts and really enjoying them because if they're done really well and they're very beautifully shot, and they're just like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting to watch. It will be it takes me over. And so I finished this. I love this show Bosch on Amazon, and it's got an intro which isn't particularly complicated, but I love watching the intro. Every time I see a new episode, I gotta watch that intro, because it's just like, what it is it's Bosch's intro. Look it up if you haven't seen it. It's basically a shot, but they mirror right down the middle, and so it would be a pan, but it's these two mirrored things going across the screen. And there's one shot in it after they started doing Angel's Flight, of the Angel's Flight train in LA going up, and it takes me a long time for my brain to recognize, oh, that's Angel's Flight. And I'm thinking, I've seen this thing like 70 times now, and it still takes me a while to get, oh, that's Angel's Flight. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's really cool. Anyhow, Bosch. Watch Bosch. Titus Welliver. Okay, admit it. I have a man crush on Titus Welliver. He seems like so freaking cool. And then when he showed up in The Mandalorian as the bad guy, I'm like, that's Bosch! Next to Katie Sackhoff, the Starbuck. Next to Starbuck. All right, let's get back to these comments. I'm ignoring you guys. Dingus Boy. All right, make me say it. You may say your name. I've been editing one of Super 8 film lately. Very cool. What do you think about editing a native 18? Yeah, go for it. No, look, guys, I'm obviously gung ho 24, but I'm really interested in editing in other kind of frame rates. I just don't think high frame rates are good, but 18 frame rates, why not? Give it a shot. You might, like Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse has the 12 frame rate effect, and you'll get a different effect. 18 frames, you're going to get that Super 8 look, which may be something you like. Maybe you want to run it faster and get the 24. But if you run it 8mm at 24, it may not look like 8mm anymore. So, anyhow, definitely try something different. Anish says on channel made you the genius kid in class during your film school. I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to do that. Christopher Ellie says, where do you go to research on your videos? I'm doing a project early film history, and a good info is very hard to find. Early film history is very hard to find. You have to kind of turn to some books, and some books you can find on topics. I mean, it's just, you kind of have to know where to look and how to think about it too. Because remember, early film history, they didn't treat films like films. They treated films like basically advertising. It was not considered really important stuff. It was considered, whatever. It's film. Show it and throw it in the trash, throw it in the storeroom, and then the storeroom burns down. No one cared. Film is not, nowadays we have a very different cultural perspective on our media, and we tend to preserve it a lot longer than they did back in those days. So it's a mind freak. There is, however, if you're interested, there is a catalog online, if you look it up, of old movie magazines, like industrial trade magazines that go all the way back to like 1904, and you can flip through each page of that magazine and see like what they were yelling at each other about in 1908, and these ads for with the latest movie exhibition product, and then the ad for the movies coming out with IMP Pictures presents so and so. It's I can't even think of her name. Claire Bow. Okay, Claire Bow being an example. So there's actually an archive of this online, and it's very exhaustive, and it's really, really cool. Lewis asking, how do you feel about women directors, writers, producers, etc.? It could be promoted more. I think women make fantastic people in the industry. They make fantastic directors, writers, especially producers. I think females tend to have an edge on the producing, because they have the ability to kind of soothe a lot of people's egos and get them all on board. I think women have a little bit edge over men as far as being a producer. That's my own personal opinion. As far as the other roles, I mean, sure, why not? I appreciate any woman that goes through the trouble to be a filmmaker. The question is, do we want to promote women more? And as someone that obviously has been in the sidelines forever, like, I would like to be promoted too. There's a lot of people that want to be promoted. I don't think it's fair necessarily to single out any particular sex, race, gender, whatever, for promotion. Now, if you want to do a all women's film festival, knock yourself out. I think that's wonderful. You should do that. I just don't think, look, you got to live and die by the product you create. So, but definitely, yeah, I mean, all for women in the industry, which is weird because my videos are watched by 94% men. So it's, come on, females, watch my stuff. Been watching Yellowstone recently. Good cinematography in it, I'm sure. It's a great place to start. Sir Styles, Jacob. So I'm a novice. After COVID-19 pushed all the professors online, I had to present instruction through video. I came across and said, oh yeah, very good. I have an admission to make. I cannot sit at a computer and watch a Zoom meeting for more than an hour. It literally physically kills me. I cannot do it. And I can sit at a computer and work for 6 hours straight. Well, I'll get up once in a while and walk around. But cannot stare at a Zoom meeting. I cannot do it. I hate Zoom. I am ready to be done with Zoom altogether. Luca asks, are you more fond of sharp, good-looking video, or so I say blended colors in video we see, for example, in Tarkovsky movies? Like pastels and or sharp video, or oh, hi girly person, thanks for the super chat. Thank you very much for that. As far as blended colors and videos, I like all styles. Like we're talking about inky black and white, or talking about pastels, something like her. The colors of that, the softness, I love it. I love it all. Let's see, coming back. Peru, well, hello to Peru. She's really into this stuff. Okay, I remember watching, Cobra asks, I remember watching your dolly zoom video in film school 5 years, and my mind was blown back then. I ended up using dolly zoom a lot. Dolly zoom's a fun thing to do, and I always kind of sneak it in if I can. Derek Roberts, I love your channel. My dog barks at my animated. I've heard that dogs and pets love my animated intros, and I think cats love me. So if you're bored, just put my channel on a playlist and just leave it on, and your cat will watch me. I'm sure probably it's like, who's that? It just starts pawing my face. Just take that ugly thing off the screen. All right. So Rags the Rich is watching. What do YouTubers get most wrong about fair use? Okay, well, I'm going to rant a little bit today. Someone was upset with me about a video that I produced where I used a lot of the information from their book. I rewrote the information. I took the information, the historical facts, and I rewrote it, and I produced a video. And I used a lot from this book. And at the end of my video, I shouted out this book and said, you should go out and buy it. And this person's really, really angry, I guess, wants me to take it down. Well, not going to happen. So, fair use. Let's talk about fair use, right? You got to remember, if you haven't watched my video on copyright, you should check it out, because I have my philosophy of copyright is I'm a very strong copyright advocate, but I'm also an equally strong advocate for fair use. Fair use is really what, in America at least, in our Constitution, is what gives us our freedom of speech. It's our First Amendment rights. You have a right to say whatever you want, and the government shall pass no law to curtail that freedom of speech. And that includes speech about copyright. So you can go out there and say, you can go out and read Harry Potter in a town square, and that is your right to do. And maybe there might be some little nuance there. Let's put it that way. So yeah, free speech. I'm going to show that comment. Free speech, fair use is freedom of speech. So it is equally important that we have copyright, that we have freedom of speech. Copyright is really limited to only what you copied. If I made a film about a young girl who was missing her father and then decides to become a pirate, that's a concept, right? That's an idea. If you make a movie about a young girl who's missing her mother and decides to go out there and be a pirate, you can do that. That's it is perfectly within your rights in not only fair use, but that's not you're not copying the actual text. As long as you don't copy my text, my story, then you can tell your own story in your own way, right? that's how I feel about copyright, and it goes all the way down. I don't know if I don't know if I'm making a point that any of you guys want to even talk about, because I'm boring myself with the story, honestly, right? So fair use. Let's go back to fair use on YouTube itself. Fair use is, you need, if you're going to use something from somebody else's YouTube channel, you need to be talking about that thing. You can't just take something, put it on your channel, and say, fair use. I'm not meaning to monetize it. I'm not using it. I'm using it to educate. No, if you're going to do that, you need to actually talk about it. And the good case is the H3 case that came up, where H3 got sued by the other person, which I can't remember their name, for doing a video, basically a video critique of one of their videos, right? And they won. Like, the judge handed down a smackdown for H3 saying, this is fair use by definition. Fair use. What isn't fair use, however, is putting some Taylor Swift song on your video and putting it out there and say, well, no, I mean, I'm not monetizing it, so fair use. That's what fair use. So I think that's about as much as I want to go on that topic. Unless you got more questions, throw them at me. The ironic thing now is YouTube can monetize the videos without your permission. So I guess that's what they're going to do. If you put a Taylor Swift song, they're going to monetize it and I guess split the money with Taylor Swift or Taylor Swift's agent. She'll get like 5 cents for all those videos. All right. As a film historian, Gumby, I'm going back. I'm sorry I'm missing all your cheesy whiz says, I pull out your face all the time. Of course. Gumby says, as a film historian, what's your take on Peter Jackson's Forgotten Silver? I'd never even heard of that one, so I'll have to look out for that. A free press author sounds like an ass. I really feel kind of bad about the whole situation, because I was like, I thought I was doing them a favor. I was like, well, but because obviously, you guys can figure it out. I did a video in a very film noir style with a completely different voice than the author. So, oh well, things happen. I will forget about it. They can threaten. It's one of the few, copyright's one of those few things that you want to sue me? I'll go for it. Let's go for it. Anyhow, I don't want to get too much into it. I might get myself in legal trouble. When won't that happen? Anyhow, Chris Fleming, let me ask some questions here. NTG2 is a powered mic, not so with the NTG1. Can an AA battery fit inside a 12 volt or in an NTG2, handy for mini jack DSLRs? You can fit it. You're probably answering somebody's question. So yeah, they're both powered microphones. The only difference is you can put a battery in one of them. The battery, AA battery is obviously not 12 volts, so it's actually 48 volt phantom power is, I think, what with the NTG1, unless the NTG1 is something else I'm thinking of, but it'd be a 48 phantom power, and that's what the 12 volt or the AA battery. AA's are 1.5 volts. Anyhow, glad you mentioned H333 debacle. It was a big win for content creators as a whole. Absolutely. Yeah, that was kind of a no-brainer. And you know the story about the Katy Perry lawsuit too. Katy Perry got sued by that Christian rapper, for utilizing like a 4-note descending line. And they won at first, but then they went to got bumped up, and the judge is like, no, you can't take this 4-note descending line, which sounds kind of like what Katy Perry put out, but no. You do not own 4-note descending line. That's just not the case. 4-note, and I think it was a minor scale descending line. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. I'm not probably way off on the singing actually, but no, it was literally 8 notes. But yeah, that got overturned. So there's sanity coming back to copyright. There is. I swear to God. Just don't read Ars Technica. I don't even know how to pronounce ARS Technica. Ars. Don't read Ars Technica. They hate copyright over there. So every time I'm blabbling. So yeah, there's sanity in copyright. There really, really is. You just have to read. You have to read the cases. What microphone do you recommend to use? A Tascam DR40X. I would like the one to give me less noise. You have to. As far as microphones go, you have to pick the microphone for the situation. And in my case, I use microphones that I have on hand a lot if I have to use a lot of microphones. It depends if you're doing a boom mic operation or if you're doing more of a music. You want to capture music, you want to use a different kind of microphone. If you're capturing voice like I'm doing right now, I'm using this Rode Broadcaster, which luckily Rode had sponsored me for. So it's that kind of microphone. I wouldn't use a boom for this operation. So it depends on the kind of work that you're doing. Yeah, I have a video on microphones. I'm going to jump ahead here. Sorry if I missed your chat. Just feel free to repeat yourself. I'm not going to be offended. I'm not skipping you on purpose. Derek Roberts says, I believe that horror genre is stepping outside the movies and into the world of magic. Just watch Sacred Rihanna. It's horror. If you've watched my horror video, and I know I don't pronounce that properly, but horror, it works in cycles. So you're going to have a magic cycle. You're going to have a zombie cycle. You're going to have a shark cycle. Again, we would get all the thoughts about sharks for a while. Horror is one of those interesting interesting genres that just kind of repeats itself, runs out of steam. Then something becomes big, repeats itself, runs out of steam, repeats itself. So it's interesting, and that's one of the few genres that kind of works like that. Gostin Guerrero, what resources do you recommend for learning how to start a videography business? Ooh, tough question. So there's no such thing as being able to really learn a videography business. I would say, first of all, learn a small business association. SBA would be a good place to learn just the basics of business operations, like getting and this is not rocket science. Trust me, I have a business degree. I don't have a film degree. I have a business degree, right? So I'm going to kind of it's not rocket science to start a business in the United States. So you just have to go and first you declare you can go and get a fictitious business name, which is usually your county. You'll register it, and then they'll send you to a newspaper, and you have to publish it for a few days. And all this stuff is routine. You just fill out paperwork and you send them some money. And then you get a fictitious business name, then you go to your bank, and then you can open a bank account in that particular name. Now, if you want to go with a sole proprietor versus, I would say sole proprietor for most things when you're starting out, you don't need to do an S corp or an L corp or LLC. Save that for later, if even you want to. I'm not an LLC, and I don't see any reason to be in California an LLC. But SBA would be a good place to start. Small Business Association Administration, to learn about how to start business, like the basic business starting stuff. And then videography is really about who you know. It really is. You just have to go out there and just try to find people, work with other videographers. Hey, a lot of videographers probably need people to help out, and that's a good place to start. Hey, Meryl says, Dear, I wanted to ask you to visit my class. Meryl, absolutely, anytime you want. I was supposed to actually talk to a Philippines school, but they had a hurricane, so I was unfortunately unable to talk to them. The topic was something called STEAM, which I really like. I love STEM. I love STEM topics, right? Science, technology, engineering, math, right? But STEAM, science, technology, art, or science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And we add art to it, it's like, now because I'm not one of those people that believes in left and right brain. I believe that creativity and logic, the exact same process. Like I took 2 years of calculus. I am a nerd, right? I am a total nerd. And when you're sitting there in calculus looking at a problem, and you have to be creative how you figure it out. There's a lot of creativity in algebra and math. And what Einstein attested to that. I have a poster in my house that said Einstein said, creativity is more important than intelligence. Einstein. I'm not going to argue with Einstein. He's right. End of story. Hey, Bad Karma got married on November 8th. I did a video on my second channel. I got to check that out. Congratulations. No more single life for Bad Karma. Now he's only good karma. I love it, buddy. Good job. That sounded like one of those H3H3. Good job, Ethan. Put that on video. No, congratulations to Karma. Bad Karma. So Sebak says, examples of auteurs often list really obvious visual examples. Miyazaki, Anderson, etc. Are there directors you might think of as being more subtle examples? Yes. That's the answer. Yes, of course. Well, let's pick one. How about Christopher Nolan? I mean, look, I think that it's easy to pick the most famous directors. Like Christopher Nolan, I would say, has a particular auteur to his haute oeuvre. Obviously Quentin Tarantino has a particular take on his films. What about Gore Verbinski? The movies, James Bruckheimer, Michael Bay. Michael Bay is an auteur. Yes, he is an auteur. You know you're watching a Michael Bay movie. There's a lot of people that copy Michael Bay movies, but there's only one Michael Bay. David Fincher, I'm trying to think of others that might be a little more lesser known. Greta Gerwig is an example of an auteur. She's had a very certain flavor to her films. Basically, any movie, any director out there that has a style, I would consider an auteur. And there's a lot of directors out there who are kind of more journeyman style, where they come in and they do the job precisely in the way the book. Like I'm trying to think of the guys that made not The Office. Well, a lot of people that directed The Office. They ended up making a few other films. I'm trying to think. Jay Roach, like the Big Short. Those guys. So they have a kind of an auteur feel to them. All right, let's go back here. Do you have a hunch that channels that are partnership reviewed are given algorithmic favoritism, and some channels that are monetized and have good content but don't do well? Why may? Yeah, there is obviously algorithms. Algorithm is kind of like the famous monster that we don't even understand. There's a guy I watched that talks about how AI is really, when we talk about AI taking over the world, it's the algorithm. Algorithm is the AI. And we have no idea. I don't think anybody at YouTube really understands the algorithm in its completeness. Maybe one or two people, but it's very, very confusing. Do I have algorithm favoritism? I don't think so. Like, I will put out a video, and I'm not, look, it is what it is, right? But I put out videos where I thought, this one might be interesting, and it does so, and then it just dies, lingers on the vine. And it doesn't bother me, that much. It kind of sucks, but I like the bigger numbers, obviously. But then I put out one or two videos, and they seem to take off, and then just get the pour gas on them, and they just keep, and they go straight up. So it's a mystery. I think your first day or two of performance on YouTube does determine how well it does in the long run, how it gets involved with the recommendations and all that. But who knows? Victor Duran, what camera are you using? I am using right now. I'm using an XC15 Canon. I have an Canon C200 that I shoot with, which is a fantastic camera. But couple it with this Canon Cinema Zoom lens, 18 to 80, I think it's 1880, and that thing is a marvel. Now, I just paid it off, so I bought myself a new one. I get in the C70, and I'll probably do a video on that one. So that will be, I'll probably do a little unboxing or something fun with it. We'll talk about it. Guy Ritchie's another auteur. Jumping around the comments here. Leo Hamadi asked a video about how shotgun microphones work. I did a video on microphones in general. You'll find one. I think I did that. I think I talked about shotguns in that one. It's very interesting. Shotgun is a very, very simple technology. It's kind of like listening through a toilet paper roll. That's kind of like the basic idea. And then you cut holes in it to get rid of that weird sound. And then you've got a shotgun microphone. Very clever. Maybe you said this before, but how do you feel about how COVID will impact the future of movie distribution? For example, simultaneous release on theater and online, you are for it or against it? I am a big fan of the theater. I know it's an unpopular thing to say these days. Every time I mention it, every time I talk about the movie theater in Facebook, oh my God, there's people out there that want the theater to die. And I like going to the theater. My house is not set up to do really good sound, and I really don't have the space for a big TV. And if I had a big TV, it still wouldn't be as good as a movie theater. So I really enjoy the theater. I hope that the theaters survive. I feel like probably what's going to happen is they're going to see them all get shaken up really, really hard. And something will emerge after COVID, then we can go back out to enjoy outside. Being outside, being with other people again. I think it will eventually happen. I have a feeling, sticking suspicion that someday we'll go back to theaters. But I would hate I'd hate theaters to go away. I really would. And I hate theaters become super expensive that you can't afford to only go to the theater once every few months. That would suck too. So I would, but then again, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough out there. So as far as moving simultaneous release, I'm probably against that because the theaters need some sort of time period. The argument is that, well, theaters can still make money. I would say there's at least a 20% discount on that by doing it that way. Mac2 asks, what's my favorite color? Red. Or blue, but not green. Tanner Martin says, what's your preference for shooting a movie, film or digital? I have never shot film in a movie since. I've shot only digital in my entire life. I've been shooting a lot of film lately, and then I bought myself a really nice digital camera, the Canon 5DS, which was on sale like at a ridiculously big discount because I guess it didn't sell very well. So I bought that, and I'm like, well, but then recently I've been so busy that I haven't had any time to work with it. Okay, I got a great question here. Can you talk a little about color grading? I do talk a little about color grading, but we should probably talk on that topic, that subject matter. Same with record stores, part of the full experience. I was never a big record store person, but yeah, I totally get that, man. Record stores, I hate to see. There's something, about the community experiencing music that you don't get by just listening to music on Spotify in your car. Yeah. Austin Guerrero asked a question. What did you think of Tenet? Oh boy. Here's how what I tell people. I walked out of Tenet thinking, it was not okay, all right. Then I watched a video called like Tenet Explained that had this theory that wanted me to go, It's like that meme that woman go, And it completely changed my view of Tenet. And it kind of made me angry at Christopher Nolan for like, why didn't you give me that piece of information in the movie enough that I could like get it on the first viewing? Like I would have to watch it several times and then maybe make that last little leap. But if you just gave me that one little thing, I would have loved your movie coming out of it. But you didn't. It was you're too caught up in your. It's the reason why I didn't like. And his brother writes Westworld, and Westworld got like, I was interested for the first season, and then just okay, whatever. And I'm going to tell you this spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler if you don't know, if you haven't seen the movie. But trust me, this is a spoiler. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just going to give you one line in it. This is a spoiler that'll make the movie better. And it's Edward Cullen is the kid. That's it. All right. I just spoiled it. But that will make the movie better. If you know what I'm talking about, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's not a spoiler. That's how I get away with it. Okay, let's back up here. That's my feelings on Tenet. So I'm glad I saw it in theaters. I did see the one movie I saw in theaters, thank you, Gavin Newsom. I like Austin Guerrero. Holy shit. Edward Cullen is the kid. You have to first have to know who Edward Cullen is. All right, let's see. Back up here. Oh man, here I had Matt Ellis. I had COVID and was in the ICU with tube for air. Nearly 6 months. Went back to an AMC Classic with a mask. Man, that sucks. I hate to be sick in the hospital for anything. Doesn't matter if it's COVID or if it's even a broken foot. I stepped on a skewer. I was in the hospital for 2 hours. It was all waiting. I should have gone to an intense care. Anyhow. What do you think of Ashgar Farhadi as a filmmaker? What makes him? I do not know who he is. I'm sorry, I don't know much about Indian cinema. I got a lot of American cinema to catch up, so I don't get around that much. Frizzin, did you know bullet time photography was patented until 2015? Interesting. I tried to make a wedding videography business that featured one of those use of a rail and 25 GoPros. I couldn't do it until patent. Really? Oh, that's interesting. And patented until 2015. Curious. That is interesting information. I'm just going to jump ahead. Do you Greenleaf Bay? Do you believe the BMCC 6K can produce Hollywood level output. If not, what camera do you prefer in a budget pick that can almost mimic Hollywood quality? Yes, BMCC 6K can produce Hollywood level output. You just have to have Hollywood level stuff to put in front of it. So that is the trickiest part. Meryl from the School of Visual Arts NYC, yeah, message me. Send me an email on Patreon. I know you're a patron on there. Or any time, man. I will zoom in and talk to you guys about whatever you guys want me to talk about. Andrew Jones said, did you know that the title Tenet, you can reverse the title backwards and forwards and read the same thing, Tenet and Tenet. The word Tenet is actually from this is interesting. I'll give Nolan credit for this. It's actually a much older, it's a part of a Greek stone that had the words spelled out. It was like something, 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 Tenet, something, something. And it's spelled Tenet both up and down. And it's actually an artifact. So that's where the Tenet comes from. So yes, it is a palindrome, though. You can spell it backwards and forwards. If you were never... Okay, Late Night Living Room says, if you were never really here, was Joaquin as an ex-vet with PTSD, or was he in a relationship with his mother and everything was a fantasy? So I never take the side of it was all a dream. I always take the side of it was real. It was real. Because I always think it was a fantasy is always a cop-out. So I always go with it is real. Unless it's not. In which case I don't really care. Who is the Cider? Who is the biggest Western movie star? John Wayne. Definitely John Wayne. I don't think you can argue that. Clint Eastwood, but he's later. I think John Wayne was the king. I'm not, honestly, I really haven't seen that many John Wayne movies. I'm not a big Western guy. I like spaghetti Westerns. Well, I like Morricone, not Morricone. I like Leone movies. I really like the Dollars trilogy. That's such great filmmaking. Derek Roberts, are you a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000? Yes. I don't watch them that regularly, but I do enjoy them. I like if you like Mystery Science Theater 3000, Half in the Bag by Red Letter Media. If you watch those guys, those guys are pretty good. It's a good successor to Mystery Science 3000. Holy moly, Matt, you got a pretty 2.5 weeks to give you an experimental drug and days and able to breathe on your own, lasting effects. Oh my goodness, that's going through hell. You should make some films on that. You should use that to inform, make some art out of that, because that is a tough thing to get through. Andrew Jones, I'm sorry if I'm skipping you. If you have a question, I'm skipping. I'm just trying to keep up. It's not, I know the comments aren't moving that quickly. I just verbose in my response. Andrew Jones says, thoughts on binaural audio used in Hollywood level movies. Headphones is part of the experience. Okay. I mean, if you're going to movie theater and you're in Dolby Atmos world where there's like 128 different locations for sound, you don't need headphones. So I don't know if there's an advantage of headphones in a movie theater situation. But yeah, if you're watching it, at home, I suppose. Hey, what about Grease? Was Danny dreaming? We're talking about the very ending. No, that car just took off on its own. Spoilers. But Late Night Living, thanks for getting back. And sure, absolutely. Marvel Recreational Universe, Marvel Recreation Universe says, I love that name. Favorite Christopher Nolan film? Good question. What would it be? It might be Batman. Batman Returns. It might be the Dark Knight. That is. That's an easy pick, right? You know what? As far as like maybe most that shaped my worldview of film, I think Memento. Because the Memento came out, everyone has formative years when they discover filmmaking, and Memento came out right in my formative years. It's like, whoa, you mean film can do that? Memento is just one of those like, whoa, I can't believe somebody could actually make this. Memento is it's essentially an indie film. There's nothing about it that today any one person couldn't pull off. Okay. Dethroner X. Hello. What have you watched and liked of David Lynch? David Lynch is another example of a great filmmaker that I like. I don't like all his work, but probably Mulholland Drive. Again, we're talking about films that were discovered during that period of life where it's just like That's the formula of years. Mulholland Drive was the formula of years for me. And then Lost Highway after that. Brilliant. I mean, David Lynch has a thing about him where he can be obtuse and weird and yet entertaining as hell. Like, he has mastered classic Hollywood filmmaking, and it lays on a veneer, not a veneer, but a underbelly of just weirdness and stuff that you have to like get in deep into your brain to experience, kind of a thing. And I love that about David Lynch, because there's a lot of filmmakers that maybe just have that superstructure of weirdness and bizarreness, but they lack the entertainment value that David Lynch has mastered. So that's what I love about David Lynch. Not a big fan of Eraserhead. That was a little too weird for me, but I sure Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway are one of my favorites. Yeah, Batman Begins begat The Dark Knight, which begot the Batman Returns. And so he said. Oh, Merrill says everything we love about lighting for one came from, oops. Hey, I don't know what happened there. So my internet's been kind of funky on this computer. I don't know, maybe my motherboard's being weird or something, but anyway, we're back. Yeah, Meryl was saying everything from theater, the lingo lingered even now. So lighting is great. I'd love to talk about lighting. Derek Roberts, do you think eventually all movies will have to be remade or reimagined, even Jaws? Yes. Like what's his name from Harry Potter said he can't wait till they remake Harry Potter. I mean, I think eventually, right? I mean, there's probably silent films that we would happily remake if we just forgot about them. The story gets told. Now, something like Jaws, maybe not, but another shark story, why not remake? Something like that. When can we expect the next episode of The Studios? Well, I was going to try to shoot one before the end of the year, so I'm thinking about redoing my entire set in the back there. It's kind of starting to fall into disrepair, and I'm like, I want to redo this and kind of clean it up a little bit and make it a little bit smaller and a little more efficient. So I was thinking about maybe shooting the second Fox video and then kind of shutting it down and rebuilding it. So that's my goal. I'll see if I actually have time. December usually slows down, so I can take some time off and do that, but it'll take a while. But yeah, I mean, the second story, half of the Fox video is written. I just have to go back and clean it up and just get and then record it. Emilio, Mulholland Drive looks linked to the TP universe to me. I don't know what the TP universe is. George Carmichael, wish I could watch the rest, but it's the middle of the night. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys later. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here for a little bit. Okay, Emilio Morgiana. Question: what superhero deserves a movie, and he never had one? Polka Dot Man. That's right. Oh wait, they're coming out with one? Yes. No, Polka Dot Man. Like, Polka Dot Man sounds like the most silly, stupid DC villain in the history of the world, right? But then you read the Wikipedia article, and you're like, that's kind of scary. He's a man with a suit made of polka dots. He takes the polka dot off his suit, and then throws it at you, and it becomes a buzzsaw. That's frightening. Terrifying. Polka Dot Man deserves his own movie. There you go. There's your answer. Write that down. Any animated films stick out for you? I did a whole video on Coco. If you want to watch Coco, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, perhaps the single most visually stunning movie I have seen. In fact, I will put it in pantheon of movies that have just completely influenced me. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, Mad Max Fury Road. Like, to me, I connect those two dots. Like, those are movies like, holy crap, you can do that with cinema. I have not been as impressed. Oh, Twin Peaks, gotcha. Yeah, Twin Peaks, definitely see that connection. Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road and Spider-Verse to me were such eye-breaking, eye-opening experiences in what you can do. It just invigorates me into the whole concept of motion picture and what you can do with motion picture. Just amazing. Forgotten Silver is a mockumentary about the early days of film and discovery of a pioneering filmmaker's lost movie. Cool. Huh. I'll have to check that out. Look for it. Juke Denton. I see Cabin Fever has hit John Hess. How much has the pandemic affected everything? It sucks. I've been fortunate. 2020 has been pretty good for me. Because I've been doing a lot of messaging videos. I've been doing work for school districts and cities and talking a lot about, COVID and all that. So I've been keeping an eye on things and trying to get messages out on it. So I've been being paid for it too, because why not? You should be paid for doing work. So I've had a pretty decent 2020. Has it sucked? Yeah. I mean, I don't get to go out to the movie theaters. I've been to the movie theaters once in the last 6 months, so it sucks. I can't make a film. I wouldn't put out a casting call right now because I'm sure people. Look, the fact of the matter is, I'm not particularly frightened for myself, and I wear a mask and I do all the stuff that you're supposed to do. And I should wash my hands better. I don't do that as much as I should. I should do that, but I try to keep healthy, and I'm trying to lose weight too, which you should always do, right? But I'm sure if I put out a casting call, it's gonna be hard pickings to find people that want to work under these conditions, and I don't blame them. So hopefully we get to the point, and I don't want to turn this into a political thing because there's enough political stuff on YouTube because God knows I watch enough of it. But hopefully the vaccines will kind of take some of the pressure off of people. That's all I will say about that. What's my next narrative project? Would I consider 16-35mm? I would shoot 35mm film. I would not shoot 16 for my own personal project. But the fact of the matter is, I've got all the toys in digital. There's no point for me not to make a film in digital. Especially not a film that I make an experimental short in film, sure, but not a serious, I put all my effort into it film. Okay, well, here we go. Listen, buddy. How do you deal with the realization you've made a mediocre bad movie? I spent the entire summer making a short with friends and ended up being a meh reaction from everyone who've seen it, even to watched it. That is life. That is, unfortunately, that is life. It hurts. It does hurt. I've done it before. And I'll tell you a story. I did a video. I did a video on fake blood. If you guys watch my channel, you might have seen it. You may have not. I did a video on fake blood. What you didn't see was the first attempt at making that movie. The first attempt at making that video. I shot for about 16 hours, and I was drenched in fake blood for 16 hours. And if you've ever been covered in fake blood in 16 hours, it sucks. And I had pushed my friends to work for long, long hours. It was the most wretched experience of my life. And then I put it together, and I showed it to my then working producer, partner on Filmmaker IQ, and he looked at it. It doesn't have that it factor. So I scrapped it, and I was literally it was so hard. Now, there's other reasons why filmmaking was getting really hard at that point. I was just feeling a lot of pressure to make stuff at that point. But, I almost gave up. In fact, when I was 18, I tried to make a short film, or try to make a feature film. I almost gave up. I tried. Nothing was working, and I almost put the camera away. Literally, almost put the camera away. So, you made a bad film. Yeah, there's that song. You made a film that may not have reached your potential. What do you like about it? Maybe focus on that. Focus on what you liked about it, and then focus on what you think you can change. Or what is it about it you think you can fix or do better next time? And just think about what you can do next time, and think about how you can make it better next time. What have you learned? Things happen. Yeah, filmmaking is not a one-time thing. It is if you've been bitten by the bug, it's a lifetime. It's a lifetime racket of spending money on stuff. I just bought a what you call it, a pano head for my camera so I can make HDRI maps. Yes, non-stop spending money on stuff. Ugh. Thoughts on the Sadfeed brothers? Okay, question. Great story of Sadfeed brothers. I didn't really care for the one with Edward Cullen. It was okay, but I watched I don't know, the latest one they did, Uncut Gems. I watched it in the theater in 2019, and I thought I at that time I had sleep apnea. I got a CPAP machine, makes my life way better. But I fall asleep in theaters, especially if things get a little boring or overwhelming. And Uncut Gems in the theater got so overwhelming, I started falling asleep. So I missed like about 5 minutes of it because I fell asleep. And I woke up, okay. Uncut Gems is an amazing film because it is so off-putting and so overwhelming and so annoying. You just want to punch Adam Sandler. It's like, shut up. And then it turns it around. And it's like the most amazing. It's kind of like what the guy does in the movie. He makes a bet. And it's like everything sucks, but then like at the very end, like it's like watching a freight train accident in slow motion. You're like, I know what's gonna happen. I know. It is remarkable. Uncut Gems is one of. I mean, and I watched it recently just to see if I had the same reaction. And now that I don't have sleep, I'm not sleep deprived. I can actually stay awake for the whole movie and watch the 10 minutes I missed. I didn't miss a whole lot, but I watched it again and I was like. Very, very good movie. It still works. It still has that if you can watch it a second time and still get those same butterflies in your stomach when you're watching it, they did a fantastic. I am so jealous of them. That movie was so well done, and I realize that a lot of people probably will not appreciate it because it's like it is no stereotype. It is like annoying Jewish people yelling at each other. I don't mean that to disrespect to Jewish people, right? I'm not saying anything bad. It's the certain kind of New Yorker, yelling at each other and just like stop. It's like Seinfeld, but not funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So Sadfeed brothers, so proud of them. Great job. Keep it up. All right, Vozio. I'm 17, making a feature-length film set in the mid-'70s. Wow, that is a big task. Just stick to it. Make your film, and don't worry if it doesn't get out perfect. Just make it, because then you can go walk around and say, "Hey, I did something Filmmaker IQ hasn't done yet. I made a feature film." Because guess who hasn't made a feature film yet? That's me. Okay, I admit that proudly. I haven't done it yet. Ratso Blackstar, how do entertaining films go against the new status quo and the leftist propaganda? They were full of PC lectures, not movies. You just got to. There are movies that are going to be propaganda, and that goes for both sides, right, left or right. And there are movies that are going to be purely one statement or the other. I think the problem, though, is that, and I'll be frank here, a lot of people on the right tend to pigeonhole movies that have some slant of the leftist bent to them, but then you're missing the forest for the tree. You're missing all the good stuff underneath. Yeah, there's some leftist bent to it, but you're missing all the kind of the cool stories. Not to say there aren't movies that are just pure one way propaganda or the other propaganda, right? But I think just approach it more from an open mind, like. And I realize it's difficult sometimes. It's difficult when you feel like you're being personally attacked in a film, whether it's for your beliefs about whatever. You just have to kind of take it as it is. It is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Here's an example. Look at the show The Boys. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say that's either left or right. I think it's very, very very, very smart as far as it attacks both sides of the well, it can. Now, if you're on the right, you might say, well, look, it's attacking the right wing. It's because they've got like this Christian superhero thing that's very, very critical of, right? So you're angry with that. But if you're on the left, you say, well, no, they're attacking this government. There's an AOC character in there. They're making fun of AOC. You just got to be a little more, grow a thicker skin, is what I'm saying. Grow a thicker skin and be able to approach the art from a perspective that it's not necessarily attacking you. Anyhow, that's my take on it. Did I just sell myself out? Am I going to get canceled because of this video? Juke Denton says, Uncut Gems is a hard movie to sit through because of how crass and uncomfortable it is throughout the whole way through. Absolutely. That's what makes it so brilliant. All right, Dave E. Jones, 24. I think the directors and doing another project with Sandler, he admires her. Sandler is such an interesting character. You know another favorite movie of Sandler? Because Sandler is one of those characters. He is really good when given a good director. Have you noticed that? Like, Punch Drunk Love is an amazing film. Punch Drunk Love is one of my favorite romantic movies. It is. I just thinking about it. I used to have it. I loaned it to Joe, and I think he loaned it, but I don't know. He lost it somehow. It bothers me. He lost my Punch Drunk Love. But it's a movie that makes me feel my heart like erupt. I just literally quoted American Beauty there. My heart feels like it wants to explode just looking at that bag. But the Punch Drunk Love, it's so heartwarming. And then because I never saw the Popeye movie, they took the song from Popeye and made this beautiful, romantic. You can feel Adam Sandler's joy when he finally, sees her. I'll be honest with you. Okay, so the last few months I have been down on movies, and I haven't really watched a lot because of COVID, because of work, and it's been constant stress meal. But to think about how much joy that Punch Drunk Love gives me, like it's kind of rekindling a little bit of that spark for movies in me. It sucks because like I said, I don't get to go to the theater, so I don't get I don't get my fix, right? So I'm chasing that dragon, chasing that popcorn, which I shouldn't eat anymore because I'm off of carbs, 0 carbs. Well, 1 or 2 carbs, so it's fine. But yeah, no, I'm just thinking about Adam Sandler movies. And then I've never seen other Adam Sandler movies. I've never seen Billy Madison. I saw the one, the Jimmy Stewart remake, but I thought that was pretty terrible. Thank you, mate. The boys are hilarious. Yeah, the boys. I won't repeat it because I don't want to get totally monetized, but just walking around calling people the C word. Oh, my favorite part of the boys is like, the Spice Girls, right? Or what was it? Oh, he asked, what's Sporty Spice up to right now? And the guy's like, what are you talking about? Sporty Spice, what she's doing right now? I don't know. Jack shit. What about Scary Spice? She had my point is, on their own, they do nothing. But together, the goddamn Spice Girls. Love it. Power Man, are you a fan of Red Letter Media? Absolutely. I like Red Letter Media. I just hope that I don't get skewered because they're too cool for school. I think I have a feeling they would totally tear me apart. Clay Dough, how you doing? Just a couple carbs. It is Thanksgiving, right? You mean you gotta have a couple carbs at Thanksgiving? No, it's brown rice and brown rice stuffing and mushrooms. I'm going to make turkey tomorrow for the first time in years. I haven't made turkey because I've been doing a traditional Thanksgiving, which means I go to the Indians and have a meal with them. The last 2 Thanksgivings I've been going to the Indian casinos because their buffets are spectacular on Thanksgiving. They're like $90, but still, I mean, it's like insane. So I've been going to the Indian casinos as my traditional Thanksgiving. And then before that, my friend would invite me over to Thanksgiving. But I'll be honest. Sometimes you go to friends' houses and it's like, turkey's a little dry, guys. I'm just saying, turkey's a little dry. Turkey's a little dry. So I'm going to do it the way Gordon Ramsay cooks his turkey, with butter and bacon on the breast. Which is how I like my women, by the way. Bacon on the breast. Okay. This is just going down the drain. Juke Denton, I prefer movie theater made popcorn over microwave. Absolutely, I agree with that. There's something about the movie theater, the way they do it. It's probably called lard. It's probably something very, very bad for you. Because it has to be, right? That's the way the world works. It is better to be reroute than static. Yeah. I'm not sure what that reference to. Derek Roberts, I don't really like boxing movies on YouTube. I saw the ending of The Champ where John Voight dies. Spoiler alert. Sorry. And all of a sudden I feel this urge to binge watch the entire Rocky saga. Why not? Don't you get that? Like you watch the Super Bowl, like, yeah, I want to watch the Super Bowl. I want to watch a football movie because I watched the Super Bowl and I found the Super Bowl boring. But these football movies are entertaining. Clado, got to hold out for this weekend. Oh, for the carbs, you mean? Or for our governor who will tell us to abandon ship, abandon all hope, ye who want to gather. Power man. I'm going to repeat that and I'm going to get in trouble for saying it, but whatever. I like my women like I like my COVID-19. Easily spread. Okay, I'm out of here. Yes. Yeah. Very transmittable. Exactly. Emiliano Morgia asks, when's my next video going to be coming out? Oh, we haven't talked about my next video. All right. So I'll just say it. I am working with Discovery right now. Not to do videos for YouTube. So I am working with Discovery for a series about the California firefighters, and I'm doing some graphic work for them. So I'm very, very busy because those shows will be airing probably in the mid to late December. So if you want to see my name fly by, if I even make the credits, you check out this Cal Fire. So I've been busy doing that. But in the meantime, I was able to pull off a video about anamorphic lenses. And I'm going to talk about why are anamorphic bokeh oval-shaped versus round. And the answer is actually not what you think it is. It's not because the aperture is oval-shaped. That's kind of a side effect. So that one I'll probably get out next week. So that's probably do that. And I want to do a quick just one thing about lighting. My tip is going to be lighting shoot the side of the face that's the fill side. So right now you're seeing the key light is over there, but the fill side, which is the side with no lighting on it, no particular lighting, is coming from this. So you're shooting this side. So that's my just one thing. I'll do that one, and I'll probably record the second half of the Fox before I shut down for the rest of the year, and then work on stuff. So anyhow, that is what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? All right. Juke Denton, I used to work at a movie theater for over 3 years. Never used the lard in the popcorn recipe. It was manufactured, I think, coconut oil. Yeah, it's coconut oil and special salt, I think. But it's just the way they make it. You know, movie popcorn, or microwave popcorn has that weird powder stuff on it. You know, so it's not that cooked in oil. That's the ticket. All right. What's my favorite movie of 2019? It's probably a hard question because there's a lot of good. Yeah, you know, every year is always good. It's going to be a question, what's my favorite movie of 2020? And that's going to be a hard one to answer. 2019, I think, is probably going to be Marriage Story, I think, was one of my tops. I think Marriage Story might have been my favorite. Although looking back, I haven't watched Marriage Story again. I don't think I'd have the same feel of it. But I think maybe Uncut Gems now, since we're talking about it. Who is the best director ever to you? I don't know. I like them all. I like a lot of them. I like a lot of the directors. I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't put Quentin Tarantino, but I always see a Quentin Tarantino movie. Always. So I always check out his movies. I don't know. I think, Spielberg. Classic. You have to kind of go with the classic there. Am I cutting out? That's weird. I don't think I am. Juke Denton, I'm sure your project about California firefighters will be far more entertaining than the film Playing with Fire. Oh, I'm not editing or directing. I'm just doing some graphic work for him. So, but I watched the first episode. It's really, really good. It's fascinating how much. I mean, it's also like it's reality television, so it's like super. I'm like, man, that's a lot of shots in these. A lot of shots. Any thoughts on Joker? I thought Joker was pretty decent. I watched it again, and it didn't have quite the same impact as the first time I saw it. But I thought Joker was pretty decent. It's a very kind of, to me, like an old school movie, very classic. What Anyar Cuddier says, what do you think of the new Canon C70? I'm getting one. That's what I think of it. I'm getting the C70. C70 seems like it ticks off a lot of missing things from the C200. It doesn't shoot RAW, but again, I never shoot RAW. I shoot RAW like once or twice, so I still have the C200. I'm not getting rid of it, so I have the C200 if I want to shoot RAW, and then C70 will shoot higher bit rates and timecode in. Oh, delicious timecode in. So stuff like that. I love that. Elio Espresso Polar, what's your thoughts on Onward? thoughts on Onward, this last Pixar movie. I thought it's miniseries Scenarios was gorgeous. I liked it. I enjoyed it very much. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. It's not gonna be, I'm not gonna cry. And I did cry. Coco is way up here. Onward is about here. I would say Up is a little bit better than Onward, but you know, Pixar's when Pixar makes a bad movie, or even their lesser tier movies are way better than half the stuff out there. So, you know, good on Pixar. It was very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. A little forgettable, but very, very enjoyable. Vizio, Stanley Kubrick is my favorite. I think Kubrick is probably my favorite. Vizio, well, I'm watching Joker right now, LOL. Well, then you're not obviously watching. If you're watching me or listening to me talk about Joker. Juke Denton, I'm so disappointed that most blockbusters are supposed to be released as theaters this year have to gone streaming or service or be pushed. Yeah. So Wonder Woman is coming out Christmas Day, so we'll get that. But we won't get the Marvel stuff, so we won't get what's her name, Scarlett Johansson's movie, or Doctor Strange, which would have been interesting. And we didn't get James Bond, which is a shame. I think that's his last go at it, right? Daniel Craig's last go at James Bond. So, yeah, and then we won't get our Oscars this year because no one can go to the theater. And in California, at least, you can't go to the theater. So, Juke Denton says Joker takes a lot of inspiration from Scorsese's King of Comedy and Taxi Driver. I think it's more Taxi Driver than King of Comedy. I don't like King of Comedy, but then again, I found Rupert Pumpkin so freaking annoying that I couldn't take him. Ratzel says, did I like Team America World Police? Loved that movie. I always thought it was, if you did independent work or you're commercial worker, you're like, hey, on this movie, will you work for half your rate if I guarantee you more business? And you're like, yeah, I'll take half my rate, right? So I wonder if Matt Stone and Trey Parker went to these puppeteers. Hey, we're making this big puppet movie. Will you work for half your rate on this puppet movie if we can guarantee you more puppet movies? Like that could never happen. That did not happen because those puppeteers like, yeah, this is the only time we're ever going to get a major studio to make a movie with puppets. So we're charging our full rate. We're going to get our full rate on this one. That's how I think about that movie. That was great. Pixar made The Good Dinosaur. Yep, that is right. Power Mad. Would you decide not to watch a movie because of how low a score RT on IMDb or RT? No, I watched Cats. And I actually liked it. It's not my favorite, but I liked it. I liked it good enough. George Carmichael, my favorite silent film. I haven't watched that many silent films. I really like, though, I like The General. I watched that as a kid in college. The General, Buster Keaton movie. I thought that was fantastic. I tend to like Harold Lloyd more. I think Harold Lloyd is like an underrated guy as far as his comedy. You see it all the time in the silent film like reels because he's the one that does the most frenetic energy. He and Buster Keaton are kind of tied in that respect. Charlie Chaplin, everyone's kind of a favorite. He's a favorite of everybody's. But Charlie Chaplin, it doesn't inspire me as much as Keaton and Lloyd were really good. Clara Bow is also, well, Clara Bow is not really a comedian, but she's done a lot of comic movies. But I don't think I've ever watched Wings. I think I was tried watching Wings. I didn't get all the way. I'm not a big silent film guy. I'm not a silent film buff because I tend to fall asleep. Sorry. They tend to be too boring because I watch them at home. If I watch in a theater, I probably could stay awake, but not at home. It's hard. There's been 2 sequels to 2 Kubrick films. Which sequel connected better with the Kubrick original? Good question. So we had Dr. Sleep was one of them. And then there was 2010, which is a sequel to 2001. Was there another one that I'm thinking I'm missing there? I think Dr. Sleep was actually an excellent film. And I think it paid homage to The Shining. I think 2010 is probably forgettable. You could probably skip that movie. So I would say Dr. Sleep, unless you got another one that I forgot already. Let's see. There's not a Dr. Strangelove. There might have been a Dr. Strangelove reboot or remake. The funny, there's a lot of movies out there that have sequels that you would never know about because the sequels suck so hard that they're not recorded in history. Like, did you know that Magnificent Seven with Yul Brynner and all those, had 2 sequels. Didn't know that. No one knows what they are because they sucked. Vizio says, we're back on the Joker topic. Joker shows Gotham as a dirty, crime-filled city like NYC and Taxi Driver, and Joker is like the Nero because they both hate what the world is. I can't wait till the rain to wash this shit away. Yeah, I have to feel that, right? George R. Carmichael asks a great question. What's my favorite Christmas film? I would say Miracle on 34th Street. I loved that movie. I still love it. I used to watch it every Christmas, but then because no one else wants to watch it with me, so like, well, okay, fine, I won't watch it. I won't watch a Christmas movie. And that's one of my favorite ones. I used to, as a family, my family also watched like Mary Poppins on Christmas time, so I have a big heart. Part of my heart for Mary Poppins, and then I did a run as a trumpet player in a regional theater of Mary Poppins the musical, where I even had a greater affinity for the character of Mary Poppins. And if I know P.L. Travers would probably be very upset, but I believe that Bert and Mary Poppins had a romantic relationship, and it was not romantic as in they were boyfriend and girlfriend, they were dating, but more like a muse. I think Bert saw Mary Poppins as a woman that he desperately wanted romantically, but he could never have her, obviously, because she's Mary Poppins and she's a magical thing. So he's got like this unrequited love for her, and to me that makes it kind of a tragic character. Oh shit. All right, sorry guys, my internet is being weird today, but yeah, sorry about that. So I was saying that I believe that Bert has unrequited love for Mary Poppins, and so he can't be with anybody else. He loves Mary Poppins, right? But she obviously can't be with him because she's like a nymph, not that kind of nymph, but she's like a spirit, right? She's otherworldly, so. It's sort of tragic because Bert will never, ever be able to love anyone else. Or if he does, he will always ditch that other person for Mary Poppins. So to me, and I know that P.L. Travers had none of this in mind. None of it, right, in the books. So, but that adds a little layer to it. So what made me kind of fascinated when I watched the Mary Poppins sequel, although it doesn't really play on that as much as I'd like it to, because I'm kind of perverted like that. But yeah, Mary Poppins. Anyhow, we talked about it. B Winky says, I totally fell asleep watching 2001. 2001 is a tough movie to watch if you're not in the right mindset. And I think the right mindset for 2001 is thinking every shot is deliberate. And you fall into that mindset, then you sit real close to the screen and like, just listen to the breathing. It's meditative. And if you're not in the mindset, it's boring. There's a great comment from Blade Runner. Blade Runner, the original movie, that Red Letter Media makes fun of this, right? But I think it's a key point. There's a scene where Harrison Ford is like, up to the right, left, enhance, up to the left. And all it is a shot on Harrison Ford looking at a computer screen. Up to the left. Enhance. And it's boring as hell if you're watching it at home, right? On a tiny screen. But I saw it in a movie theater, because the movie theater was a classic night. And in an air-conditioned room, and everyone's quiet. And you hear the rain outside. And you're like, and just slowly building the shot. Slowly. And it's like, and in my mind, I'm thinking 24 frames per second are being expended for this. And it's cool. I love that. I love that. Okay, should the intermission be heard when watching 2001? I don't like intermissions. You can feel free to skip them. That's my opinion. Feel free to completely skip them. All right. Have you ever thought of trying to watch through every single movie that's won Best Picture of the Oscars and try to do a video discussing each one? That's a cool concept. All right, Juke. I might take you. That's a cool idea. I might skip Crash. I think that goes without saying, right? Anybody that's seen Crash is like, yeah, you can skip it. G Den said, I was never bored with that scene from Blade Runner. I know that. I could see how, like, Red Letter Media makes fun of it. They say, it's a boring scene. It's a dumb, boring scene. But watching a theater, man, holy moly, it is something else. Yeah, the sound in that scene is so that's so gorgeous. And it's like, like, here's the thing, like, people sitting around saying, like, oh, why would you do that scene like that? Because. And it's so cool. Anyhow. Not Monty Python intermissions. Yeah, don't skip those, though. Those are good. Power Man wants me to review Fast and Furious movies. Not going to happen. Not that I'm against them, but not my cup of tea. $10. Thank you to Acrelon. $10 super chat. Thanks for the super chat. Opinion on Darren Aronofsky. He's my all-time fave. Love your channel, by the way. I like Aronofsky. But to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of Aronofsky films. I think the one that most impacted me was The Wrestler. That is Aronofsky, right? You know what? It pains me. I have to rectify this. I have not seen the Black Swan. I need to see that one. But yeah, Aronofsky's always been a very interesting filmmaker. I always liked that one. Jukes, come back. Don't blame for skipping Crash. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. The Broadway Melody. You had a hard time watching that one. Yeah, Broadway Melody. It's interesting for what it is. You can't watch it like, oh, I'm going to watch a very entertaining movie. I do love me Ruby Keeler. Holy moly, I love me some Ruby Keeler. I think she is so gorgeous and pretty. I see what Al Jolson saw in her. And I'm hoping they're not mixing all the streams together, because I think that's Ruby Keeler. But yeah, Broadway Melody is a movie that does not understand the art of sound quite yet. So yeah, Hackers 1995. I haven't seen that one. I know the meme, right, from the Hackers, where they're like he's typing away at the computer. Oh, you're not going fast enough. You're not going fast enough. And then it's like, move over. And they both get on the keyboard and they start hacking away at the computer. I think that was CSI or something like that. That's something ridiculous. Tarkovsky movies. Okay, Aronofsky, Tarkovsky. Okay, now we're getting Solaris. I thought the Russian Tarkovsky movie, Solaris, way better. Blows the American version with George Clooney. Come on, give me a break. The book, fantastic. I read that book in college from a religion and science class, talking about the religion and science. Fantastic. The book moved me deeply. It's a fantastic, amazing book. The Russian movie does a better job of capturing the essence of the book. The American movie makes it into a sci-fi thriller. That wasn't sci-fi. It's a religious text, really, kind of. So, yeah. The Pie has the bellman from Breaking Bad. Hack the Gibson. All right. George Carmichael asks, Swedish films, Bergman is obvious, but what's exploring beyond that? I have no idea. I'm not I'll be honest. I'm not going to break your hearts, but I don't know world cinema as much as I guess as much as I should. I'm not a world cinema guy. I'm a very much American cinema. That is my jam. Sorry to say, that's just the way it is. Now, I do appreciate other cinemas. I enjoy other cultures' cinemas, but I don't go purposely seeking them out. What's interesting is actually I've discovered that I'm a big fan of Australian cinema. A lot of Australian films that are really, really fascinating. Peter Weir coming out of Australia, obviously Mad Max, and I guess Peter Jackson is well, he's New Zealand, but it's close enough, right? Juke, thanks for hanging out, man, and thanks for chatting and sending me questions so I got something to read while I talk through the screen. Have a good night, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's see. Biocchi says, what do you think of virtual sets used in The Mandalorian? Can they replace shooting on location for a big studio? Don't you wish you had a toy that cool as they have? That is the Orson Welles said a movie studio is the world's best toy. And what The Mandalorian has is like the super. It's like the full set, Grayskull Tavern, Grayskull Castle Deluxe Edition with the little turnout thing, cell and all the He-Man characters, like the complete freaking set. That is the best toy in the freaking history of filmmaking, is what they do on The Mandalorian right now. Holy moly. Is it going to replace location for a big studio? No. Because there's something you can there's an essence to a big studio, a location that's really cool. Will we replace maybe a lot of like hard to get to locations? Yeah, sure, maybe. But I don't want to see a James Bond film that was shot the way The Mandalorian is shot. I would not. Check me out on that. But if you want to do a sci-fi stuff, you want to do something that's wild out there. Yeah, man, Mandalorian, man. And I've been following Mandalorians. I really enjoy that show. I thought the first episode, second season was like, it's okay. But then it started going, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then Titus Welliver, Bosch, comes on. I'm like, okay, you got me hooked. What do you think of the virtual? Okay, so what do you think of turning a biopic into a musical? Ruins the biopic. Lifelong Elton John fan. I love the biopic. I'm not sure I agree with the musical. I thought Rocket Man was probably the best musical made recently. I think that movie. Look, it becomes a jukebox musical, but it's also a good subject matter for it. I thought Rocket Man was far more superior to the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. The Bohemian Rhapsody movie is just so-so. I mean, the Rocket Man was clever, visually fantastic. I see Retzel Blackstar agrees with me. Rocket Man wrecked that queen shit. And the weirdest thing. Okay, so my friends and I, to celebrate the life of Sean Connery, none of us had seen the movie. We haven't watched Highlander, so we got together without our governor knowing. We got together and watched Highlander, and now I can't get the damn, because we had the DVD play menu on for the whole time, like for 5 minutes while we were chatting, and I hear the theme song, the Queen theme song. We are here, we are princes of the universe, and I can't get that out of my freaking head now. It's stuck. There can only be one, and it's that stinking Queen song in my head. So now I'm totally into Queen's Highlander. Here we are, princes of the universe. Man, Queen knew how to make them, man. All right. What's my favorite, most helpful book about filmmaking? Good question, Shy Town Gillen. Bruce Block had a pretty good book that I really enjoyed. It was called Seven Elements of Visual Composition. He talks about color and texture and contrast, things like that. So really cool to do. So that's probably one of my favorite books, if you want to check that one out. Will go on VP on your next studio. Emiliano Morgia. Not sure what that means, VP. Tell me what you mean, and I'll answer your question. So what do you think of the Academy Awards' new diversity quotas? Haven't been made deep dive yet. Seem controversial subject. I think the diversity quotas are really, really window dressing, because I don't think they're really. I think it's going to be really easy to qualify for them, because it'd just be like, oh, did you hire some interns that are have diversity? All right, you got your quota. So I don't think it'll be. I don't think it's that big a deal. I think it hurts more. I think it really hurts the indies more than it hurts the studios, because studios can hire whoever, right? And studios can meet a diversity. I'm not sure the diversity quota applies to indie films, right? Like, I wonder, would last year's Parasite have won? Would he be qualified if it had diversity? Because there's not diversity on that cast and crew. They're all Korean. It's not diversity. There's only one race on that, so I don't know about that. Oblivion came way before Mando. Yeah, Oblivion just to use the screen. Oblivion and Gravity also use kind of a similar topic. But the thing is, they didn't use the real-time rendering and then actually move the sets and shoot the sets I think maybe Oblivion did, but yeah, but Mandalorian took it to another whole nother level. Highlander, yes. Hi, Emiliano Borgio. Oh, you're talking to Bruno. Sorry, Mion Wang. If you guys ever watched not Fry Laurie, it's the those guys that play on Peep Show, what's the name of that show? Anyhow, they have Number Wang. It's a fictitious game show. It's a sketch show I'm talking about. It's called Number Wang, and every time Mion Wang shows up, it's always Mion Wang. That's Mion Wang. I say that joke every freaking time he comes on there. All right, need some tutorials on cinematic lighting for videos. That's a good thing. I want to do just one thing coming up this month probably. Well, I'll give you a very quick cinematic lighting tip. Very, very quick. Mitchell and Webb. Thank you, George Carmichael. Mitchell and Webb. Mion Number Wang. That's the Number Wang. Chi-Town Galen asks, best camera attachment for filmmaking. I will maintain that the best thing I've bought that has increased my at least what I feel about my filmmaking exponentially. And Biaggi says microphone, and that's certainly definitely something that you should probably consider first. But man, I bought this cinema lens, this Canon's 18-70, and I feel like that has taken my filmmaking to another level. I know it's kind of like, well, look at me, I got a cinema lens. It's one of the cheaper lenses, but it's a zoom lens, so it's really useful for doing documentary style work because you don't have to keep changing lenses, and you can do a very smooth zoom in and zoom out. So it's a servo controlled zoom, but yeah, quality glass, man, that it changes just the feel of a shot is way better. So hey, Charles Hoffman, thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you too. Oh, virtual production. I think good virtual production can make a green screen. Can be made with green screen if lighting are placed correctly in the match 3D environment. I wish to see you in a virtual studio. Yeah, the thing is, so my approach though, because I am a one-man band, is the less post. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. It keeps kicking me off there. So the question I am saying, a virtual studio, my one-man band, I am trying to do as little post work as possible. If I eliminate the post, I can get videos out faster and get them out to you guys, and then you can watch them. And the hours and hours and hours I spend on post, I don't feel like it. Are they really worth it? Am I getting not much better view results out of that? I don't know. I honestly don't think so. Like, I'm hanging out with you guys. This is live stream. This is not edited. This is barely competent, if that. My internet keeps going in and out. Yeah. So I am kind of against post right now. If the less work I have to do in post, the better, as far as YouTube videos is concerned. But anyhow, I'm glad to see you're a lighting designer DOP. That's awesome. George Carmichael, I'm fairly new to your channel. Do you have anything to say about animated films? Darren Aronofsky, who was mentioned earlier, is particularly influenced by Satoshi Kon. Cool. I haven't done animation yet. I haven't done like a history of animation. I like animation. Sorry, my nose is getting a little stuffy for some reason. It's not the COVID, not the Corona, not the Rona, but I got into animation after Spider-Man Spider-Verse. I kind of started getting really more into animation again. So I rewatched a bunch of Batman animated series. I did a deep dive into DC world, man. Batman is such a malleable character. I watched Samurai Batman. I watched, the Hush. I watched all the Harley Quinn series. I love that. Anyhow, that's my animation thing. Is very much into like animated comic book stuff. And then I'm trying to actually draw my own comic book right now. I might as well say it. I'm not going to hide. I just don't have time to do much of it, but I'm trying to draw a little comic book, a graphic novel. It's a romantic comedy. We'll see how that goes. So hopefully I get that done and I can sell it to you guys. Maybe you guys will buy it. I don't know. I'll sell it for like cost, basically. Yeah, Christopher Hoffman. Yeah, comes a point when you feel like you're getting diminished returns. Yeah, especially YouTube. YouTube is a turn and burn, right? You have to, if you can't deliver quickly, I'm not sure YouTube is great. Well, you know, then there's guys like Captain Disillusion who knock it out of the park every freaking time. And I'm watching these videos and like, holy crap, I want to do that. And he gets millions of views. He gets way more than I do, way more. And I'm jealous of him. I give him money on Patreon. Then I watch him like Defunct Land too, which is also like I feel like he way overproduces it. But you gotta admit, it works and it's really good stuff. So. Emiliano Morgana says, me as a cartoon, yes, I'll buy it. No, it's if you ever watched Al's Toy Barn, if you ever watched Toy Story 2, I'm in it. I'm Al's Toy Barn. I'm just kidding. I get that I get that comment like every other week. It's like, hey, it's Al's Toy Barn. I made it fun. I made fun of it too in one of the videos. Yeah, Captain Disillusion, man. So he's just like, dude, you're so freaking good. Like just to put on the freaking makeup every time he does. I don't want to put on silver paint on my face and have to wash it off every single time. That's amazing. I don't know how he does it. But you know, maybe if I applied myself like the way he does, maybe I could accomplish something. Maybe I could accomplish a little bit of that too. I don't know. I think he has a stick. He has a program that has worked out great for him. Obviously, if I try to do that, I would fail miserably because that's not me. It is only, and anybody tried to copy Captain Disillusion, they would fail because that is his thing. He managed to pull it off, and it's amazing. I can't say enough great things about him. Yeah, more and more ads keep interrupting videos. That's where YouTube is heading. And then, have you noticed that there's something called ad bombing, where it's like, and I know YouTube kind of has a fight with this. I feel like, but you'll watch a video and it's like an ad every 5 seconds. Like literally watch for like a half a minute, bomb, another ad. And I've seen the algorithm do that to my content, like an ad every 90 seconds. I'm like, no, delete that ad, and I'll put like 1 or 2 ad mid rolls. I try, if I can, plan for the mid roll ads so there's a natural break in the video. But yeah, I don't know. I actually ended up getting YouTube Premium because of that, because I didn't want to see the ad bombs, and I also, my phone is really, really sensitive, so if I just touch it, the video will stop playing. So I wanted to have background play, so I got the YouTube Premium. And I figured, well, I'm already paying for Disney Plus, HBO Max, Amazon, Netflix. Might as well pay for one more thing. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Captain Disillusion isn't a one-man band. He at least uses his dad as a camera op. Well, that's still, you know, he still, I think he still does all the post work, man. But again, you know, he's got a system down that he can do it really quickly. For me, I still bumble around like 3D Studio Max. I think he uses Blender. I use 3D Studio Max, and I still, like, every time I open, it's like, oh, there goes 4 more hours. Yep. CD is like the Chinese man from The Prestige. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I'm not sure. I don't remember The Prestige that well enough. Viniscus, the cost of losing money for our welfare. What a legend. Who's that? Oh, him or me? Because has this made me money? I don't think so. The funny thing is, I got this studio. I'm working at, I rent a studio now. I'll be honest. Okay, I started out like $800 a month to rent this place, and now I'm up to like $1,700. And that's like 6 years. I got this really I got this studio to make more Filmmaker IQ stuff, and now I know I don't shoot that often here, so I just use it really to store all my stuff and to have my computer and to get away from my house so I can actually get some work done. Yeah, no, CD I think works. I don't know if he's Full Sail. Full Sail is a video Film Riot. But I think he's self-trained. I think CD is self-trained. So, yeah. Meow Wang says, I've been trying to learn Blender because C4D is very expensive. Blender is powerful, but yeah, it is so annoying. I can't. I open up Blender, I'm like, I'm not going to figure out the day, and I close it. The only reason I use Blender is to convert models to something else that I can use in another program. I am a 3D Studio Max guy. I started off on 3D Studio Max when I was a kid in 1996. Then Toy Story came out. I'm like, well, not going to compete with that. So I put it away. And then I came back to it in like 2012 or something like that. I've been trying to work on it. So 3D Studio Max is how my brain works, and I'm too old to learn something new. And we're far enough into the stream here. I use the student version because I don't make money with it, so it's not commercial. Emilio asks if I can ask, why are you not in the studio? Is it in your house? No, I'm back here in my edit bay. It's just because I have my computer here. I have a camera set up for Zoom calls, and I figure, well, I'm here. This is the least amount of work to go on stream. Because if I go out there, I got to set everything up. I got to turn the lights on. I got to adjust the lights. I got to turn everything on, and I got to get the mic position right. Then I got to turn on the computer over there, and blah 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 blah. So, I mean, are you at home or instead? Are you at home instead of the studio by choice? Yeah, I worked out of my house for about 13 years. 13 years I worked out of my house, and then I opened a studio, or opened my own like warehouse and office space about 5 or 6 years ago. And I find it's a good way to separate your home life and your professional life. Like, I feel like I come here, I can focus on my work, I can do my work. And at home, I actually bought a new computer, partly because I need to work at home because of the COVID stuff. If I need to have that flexibility, and partly because I wanted to play Flight Simulator on a better machine. So I have that. Yeah. So that's why I have this kind of dual setup, and it costs me money. It does cost me money. I could probably rebuild a home studio and make it work there, but I need more space, and yeah, you know how it is. It's tough. And right now I live with my mother. My mother lives with me. I take care of her. She's a little dementia, so I feel bad I have to leave her at home right now, but I kind of need some time to get away from her too, so I can take care of my business. Oh, Derek Roberts, go help your mom. I have to do that. I'll go take care of my mom later tonight. She's getting surgery next Monday, and I'm hoping this will help because she has a thyroid issue. I'm going to share. All right, I'll share whatever. She has a thyroid issue, nodule that's pushing her esophagus and her trachea like to the side by 2 centimeters. So in American, that's like 2/3 of an inch. If you look at an X-ray, look at it like a CT scan. It's like, that's not right. So it's causing her to like grunt the whole time, like when she's at home, breathing hard. She's always choking, which if she's in the hospital, they'll hold her because she's choking. Well, she's choking because she's got these nodules on her, like pushing against her esophagus. That's why she's choking. But they hold her because they think, well, maybe she had a stroke, so she's what's it called? You know what it is? Not numb, but I can't think of the word. But anyhow, maybe I have the Alzheimer's. I probably do. But yeah, so she has this nodule. So the surgeons looked at her. She said, "Why didn't they take this out earlier?" I don't know, beats me. She doesn't speak English very well, so I figured they don't care. So yeah, she's like, yeah, we're taking this out because it's not going to get better. So hopefully Monday she's going to have that out. Hopefully she'll have a good, quick recovery, and maybe that'll help her breathe better, and that'll be good because then I won't feel like, because it's tough, man. It's tough. I'm a single child, I have half brothers and sisters, but they're way older than me. So it's just me and my mom. I take care of her. I do all the busy work, all the business work. She can't read. She's got pretty heavy Alzheimer's, and so it's tough. It's tough when you're at home and you're hearing like her struggling the whole time, like breathing and trying to go up and down the stairs. So that's part of the. If you want to know why I'm having a hard time this year, besides the COVID, that's part of it too. So that's why I haven't been super active and trying to put stuff up there. Not that I'm trying to reach out for. I'm just talking, man. I'm just talking. I'm just getting it all out there, talking. Daisy Choi, bringing us back to film, bringing us back to a good topic. The Queen's Gambit. I watched the whole season within a day. It even motivated me to play chess. I watched the Queen's Gambit over 3 days. I think 2 or 3 days, and I really enjoyed it. The one thing I don't like about that film, about the Queen's Gambit, is I think they move the pieces too fast. And not when they're playing speed chess. I get speed chess is fast. but the master shots, the master games that she plays with the Russian, like, I don't think they're moving that quick in the in real life. I don't think they would move it that quick. I get it, they're doing that for cinematic purposes, but one thing that's cool about the Queen's Gambit, if you haven't watched it, you should. It's really it's a worthy watch. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's a different movie in a couple different ways. First of all, Anya Taylor-Joy. Can we just say that she is amazing? I'm sorry. I will say that. I will say Anya Taylor-Joy is a Anya Taylor-Joy. All right, let me say that. All right, that was lame. Yeah, I would totally marry Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's. It annoys me that every review of of that show, it starts off with Anya Taylor-Joy has eyes so far apart it makes her look like a human hammerhead shark. That is a horrible line. It's true. It's a horrible line, but Anya Taylor, I think she is. I think she's gorgeous. I think you cannot stop looking at her. She has it. Like she just draws you in, man. She is so gorgeous. So she captivates the role. But the other thing that's interesting about yeah, and then the Vitch, right? Because the Vitch is like, holy crap, she can do that too. But the other thing I liked about the Queen's Gambit is there's no like bad guy. You know, my former partner who passed away, the filmmaker, we always say this about movies he liked was like movies where there are no bad guys. There's not a mustache twirling villain. I'll get you, Anya Taylor-Joy. It's the last thing I do. Right? The movie is about challenges and dealing with stuff, and then there's lots of people that are out there trying to support her, you know, and she's I read on Reddit, but she's not abused by that father. She's not abused by this or that. She's a drug user. She has issues of her own, and she overcomes some stuff, but she's still kind of a mess of a person. So you know, every opportunity for melodramatic, like shallow stuff in that show just completely avoids, and it manages to be very entertaining, and the sets are amazing, and they're like, you're watching like, how gaudy is this home that she gets adopted into? Like, oh my god, the set design is like that set designer went nuts. But it's a very entertaining show, very very entertaining. I would recommend it. Yeah. Watch it. I think about chess. I like the idea of chess. I'm just absolutely terrible at it. I am terrible at chess. I know that you're supposed to control the middle ground, but after that, I just get my butt handed to me. No, like I'll go on. I used to go on Yahoo Games and play chess, but these guys were like speed chess freaks. So it'd be like 1 minute timer. I'm like, move. Oh crap, and I would run out of time because I would just get my butt handed to me. George Carmichael's we're going to go down the list of directors to talk about. Opinions on Werner Herzog. Well, you see, there's this thing about Werner Herzog that's almost tragic, very tiring. He's trying to say something, but the heart, it's not there. The soul, the film, it's the only thing that matters. Okay, that's enough of my Werner Herzog. I think Werner Herzog is more of a character, and I love his character. The child. I must get the child from you. Okay, never mind. The Mandalorian. Anyhow, sorry. Downtown Win. What was it like shooting with Corey Haim? I don't remember who's Corey Haim. I'm not sure who that is. Remind me. Maybe I've forgotten. I don't think I've shot with Corey Haim. A kind of unique take on the intention and a kind of unique take on the intention and obstacle theory. I'm not quite sure what you're. Oh, okay, you're talking about a split or something like that. Anyhow, yeah, who's Corey Haim? You keep asking me who what's it like shooting with Corey Haim, but I don't know who you're talking about. Corey Haim. This mystery must be solved now. Must be solved. Time is it? It's 7:00. So I have to get some rosemary. I have to get some spices and butter. I'll get some butter. I'm on a diet, but Oh, Corey Haim is an actor who was in movies like Lucas, Silver Bullet, and Lost Boys. Oh, gotcha. Okay, Werner Herzog and Corey Haim. I'm not sure. Is it the same? I'm not. Maybe I'm mixing my wires together. Emiliano Morgias, I'm just hanging out with you guys. We're just chilling right now here. I should probably get going, but I'll just hang out for a few more minutes. Emiliano, being a director requires so many talents, technical, human relations, philosophy, so on. Every director, big or small, is a genius. Yeah, directing is, and there are good directors and there are bad directors. I'll tell you a story. So I was hired to do this commercial in Hollywood proper, Beverly Hills, and it was I was DP for it was a skincare company, and at the time, I gotta admit, I wasn't the greatest. I didn't have the greatest thing in the world. I was shooting with a 35mm adapter, so it was like so, and it had hardly any time. But I remember this director, and I guess he directed one film. I think I won't say any names. But there was a director there. He had like one credit to his name, and it was it wasn't a big hit, very low key, but it had like some stars in it. Anyhow, and we were doing a commercial for a skincare company, and literally he did jack shit on the set. He did nothing. I storyboarded it. He brought in an acting coach, and the acting coach directed the actors. And then I lit it, and I did everything I could to try to get it to work right. And all he did was call action and cut. And he wouldn't always call cut either. Thanks. It was a shitty director. Like it was like pointless. So it was weird because at the time too, it was just when Hairspray got really popular. Hairspray the musical, not the product. Hairspray the musical was really popular, and if you know Hairspray, the mom in Hairspray is traditionally played by a man in drag. It was Divine's character in the original movie, and it was a Harvey Keitel. No, it wasn't Harvey Keitel. It was some other character and famous guy with a very raspy voice. Right. So he thought it was funny to have the mom in this skincare commercial about teenage girls going for prom, that the mom was this like 600-pound drag queen. It was like, okay. And then we shot at this house that used to be owned by Lucille Ball. I think Charlie Chaplin owned it at one point in Beverly Hills, which is not, it was a nice house. It wasn't like the super fancy mansion. It's a house that's right off of Hollywood Boulevard. You could just literally drive down. You wouldn't know it was owned by a famous person. But we were outside, and he had this classic car, and there's supposed to be these teen girls like driving away to the prom, and then this big drag queen is out there, bye bye honeys, bye bye, and we had all these tourists like driving by, like, okay, what's happening in Hollywood today? It's these drag queens like, hello. It was awesome. Great story. My favorite memories. Horrible shoot. Probably didn't look that good. I don't think I could have probably shot it way better now, but terrible product. But I will never forget that story. So anyhow, all right. Mike Starling says, "Are you going to do more History Studios videos about movie studios?" I probably will be. I'll try to. Yeah, but may not go into much detail because somebody was complaining. Somebody was complaining about it. I don't want to get into that story again. You can go back and talk. You see a little more about it. Amelia Morgia. I'm sorry if I apologize to butcher names. I'm reading off the cuff and I'm not good with names. Sure, there are bad, but you know what I mean. You need the flame and the spark. I think it reference to something older. A man drowning. How romantic. Yang Wang, quite recently watched the movie 1984 based on the amazing book. Yes, 1984 is a movie awful, or is it me just didn't like it because I love the book so much? 1984, Harvey Fierstein, thank you for that name. Harvey Fierstein talks like this. He's in that movie. Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, gorgeous. That's his voice. 1984 is interesting because it was actually shot and produced in 1984 on the days which the book takes place in 1984. So it's an interesting movie. It doesn't survive that well. There are parts of it. I too, like you, was my mind altered with 1984. I read 1984 in high school when I was a lonely boy at a show choir competition outside of San Francisco. I was such a nerd, such a terrible nerd, and there was this one girl in that show choir who I was infatuated with. Her name was Katie. Why not? You know, if you all know her, if Jacob's still watching, he'll know who I'm talking about. But I was infatuated with Katie, and I was so desperately, I'll tell the story. I was so desperately in love with this girl, right? This insane, stupid young boy love, right? I loved her so much, but I was so frightened and sheltered and in my little shell, and I didn't know what to do. And then we went to this Great America theme park, right? Great America theme park, right? And I'm just gonna read my book. So I read 1984. Okay. And I decided that night at the dinner, I was going to write a note, and I was going to put my note on a piece of paper and write it out. I was going to put it in her purse and tell her how much I loved her. Because, right, if you tell someone how much you love them, that means they'll love you back. Classic young teenage logic, right? So I wrote this note. I am deeply in love, whatever. I wrote this note out to her, and it was dinner time, and I'm sitting there eating my barbecue, whatever, and her purse is right next to, because I can finagle my way to sit next to the girl I like, right? So her purse is sitting there right there next to me, and I'm like, oh, here's my chance. And I go, and I palm the note in my hand, go to put it in my purse, and she reaches over and touches my watch. And like starts playing with my watch. And she's not even looking at me. She's like talking to somebody else. And she's touching my watch. And I lost my nerve. And I stuffed the thing back in my pocket. And I'm like, oh, geez. So now, having read 1984, while all this is going on, my brain is like, Big Brother is watching me. Big Brother got her to touch my watch and to like get me to stop my nerve to put that note in her purse. Yeah. I became paranoid at that point. Long story short, never did anything happen with her, and I did fall in love with her, and I was, held that for a few years after high school, like a dumb idiot. And such is my life of unrequited love. Great story, John. So I bet you didn't expect that from Filmmaker IQ. In fact, that's actually the first serious short movie I made called My Emily. It's kind of loosely based on that. I actually have that scene where she's touching his watch, and he's like, "Oh my God, she's touching my watch. He's touching my watch. This is the greatest thing. This is what sex must feel like. Touching my watch." All right, so that's the story. Oh, it's not in the curriculum anymore? Charles Hoffman says it's not in the curriculum anymore? That's ridiculous. Come on, you damn pansy liberals. Won't let you read 1984? Peace is war. War is peace. Ignorance is strength. Anti-sex league, man. There's nothing about 1984. It's a hot book, man. It's a lot of kinky shit. It's sexy as hell. X3K, what's the one of the most interesting things you've researched for a Filmmaker IQ video? I love the topic of the color wars of the 1950s. If you want to watch it, it's the War for Color Television, NTSC. I loved that. Meryl Rosner. I called you Meryl Streep there. I was young when you started talking tonight. Now I'm freaking old. I hear that. I know. My voice is starting to go too. Yeah, NTSC Color is one of the favorites. Can't wait to touch my watch mug and t-shirt. I think I'll do that one. I want to do a t-shirt that says, every day is made better with a camera, or there's no such or a camera makes any day better. Something like that, because that's how I literally feel. I don't always get to make stuff with the cameras, but whenever there's a camera in my hand, I feel like, this is a better day. This is a better day for it. So, anyhow. All right, guys. Well, it is 7:12. I think I started around 5. I've been on for like an hour and a half. Well, hey, guys, thanks for hanging out with me, and I want to wish you guys all a happy Thanksgiving. I'll just take one. Robert Roach said, if you could have been on set for one scene in one movie, what would it be? Probably some nude scene. Now we're getting nasty and dirty. Okay. Probably Doctor Strangelove. Any time with Buck Turgensons on screen, I would love that. I love that. The thing with real quick side note, nude scenes are not as sexy as you think they are. I've done some nude photography. You get over it really quickly. Like, it just because it's an everyday normal thing. It's really, when you get down to it, you just be professional. You know, you don't try to stare, you don't try to gawk. But you end up with some really stuff that you can't do, because nudity. I'm not anti-nudity. I'm very pro-nudity, honestly. I know it's getting very, very disturbing. I'm probably gonna get letters and canceled for saying it, but I think nudity is great, and I think and sure, male nudity too. Why not? Everyone get naked. I'm cool with that. But you just had to be professional. You are professional. So if a nude set, closed set, everybody's very respectful. That's, it's not what people make it out to be. It's not what porn makes you think it is. If you thought the world works the way porn works, then you all be marrying your sisters. Anyhow, all right. I know I just want to cling on. I want to hang out with you guys because I don't want to go home and I want to go shopping and put my mask on and go shopping. I gotta do that. Yeah. Happy. There you go. We can leave that on there. Meow Wang says, I like doing nudes. Why is YouTube blocking all this stuff? Come on, guys. Let's be adults here. Jeez. I like doing nudes. I don't think they're sexy per se. I like to observe a woman's body and photograph them. There's something about, look, hey, let's just be honest. Women look better than men. And I think women would agree with that. I think women find women's bodies better looking than most men's bodies. There's beauty in the human form. There just is. It's not necessarily a sexual thing about it. There's a slight bit of sexualness to it. There's a thing that you're not supposed to see, but it is the way it is. It is reality. And look, I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I've been attacked for putting out. I put out a video on I'm losing my mind here. I can't think of the name. Forced Perspective. I put out a Forced Perspective video where I put a girl in a bikini and I put her in a martini glass. And I had people pissed off at me. I think no film school won't run my stuff because they found it sexist, and I found me sexist and problematic and all that stuff. Man, it's just anti-sex, anti-human stuff, man. I can't stand for that, and it gets me angry now. I get angry. Male and things like the male gaze, like the whole concept of the male gaze. It's like it's gotten to the point where the male gaze is just bad, even if it's a female gazing. Anyhow, we're not going to necessarily go down that road. I'm going to get in trouble. Just a quick answer to questions. Back in the 70s, every movie needed R rating to get tickets sold to every actor showed her boobs. Well, not in the 70s, 80s, 90s, sometimes a little bit. Nowadays, what's even weird now, you can have a body double do your nudes for you, and then you have nudity, but it's not you. So, look, nudity is nudity, It adds something to it. I gotta admit, I like it. Somebody asked, can I recommend a porn or porn director? No. Sorry. Porn does not have directors that are like super talented. I'm sure there's that stuff that the high art porn, yeah, okay, whatever, but sorry about that. Anyhow, I know I'm circling the drain. I'm getting myself canceled. I'm doing bad things to my personality. Sam, does it make you feel powerful? Not quite sure what that means. I don't necessarily think nudity is about a power thing, really. I don't think it's like a dominating versus a subjective thing. I think it's more about just, sometimes I think it's admiring. Like a lot of times when I've done models shoots and stuff like that, it's not so much, it's more like you're admiring something. So oh yeah, U.S. movies, yay violence, no nudity, no. I get that occasionally on my censorship video. I'm like, this is deplorable that society has destroyed itself because of nudity, that we would allow such pornographic things in our movies, such horrible, society has destroyed itself. But getting your head chopped off and heads exploding, that's okay. Just the nudity, just the part where you're showing, like a God-created human form. That's bad. But no, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know. It's a big topic, and we can all get canceled for it. So just the shy towns get on. Nudity shouldn't even be inherently sexual because people add their own bases uncomfortable into the argument. I mean, nudity can be sexual, and it can be not sexual. It can be anything. A lot of times context matters. Like, would you say that the Michael D'Angelo's, the David is sexual? No. Would you say the Venus painting, is that sexual? No. But man, YouTube does not like talking about nudity because I have to unblock a lot of these comments. Dethrone says nudity is not about power. Rape is about. You agree with that? Nudity is art. It's nature, the way people think. Yeah, rape is about power. You're absolutely right. It's and then there's a lot of cases too. We talk about how exhibitionism too. We're getting some fun topics, John. Right? There goes that monetization for that video. Bye, out the window. Exhibition really is about power sometimes. Like if I'm showing you if I'm exhibiting, it's because it's like a power thing. It's like I can decide when to show you something. That's a long conversation. All right, that comment I'm not gonna approve. There you go. Sandblaster, I've been to many Burning Man events where nudity is not almost noticed. It's just a way of life. Both women and men walk around nude without any comments, just hugs. Yeah, I once was supposed to go to Burning Man, but I was like kind of worried. Like I didn't want to go because I didn't want to get sand in my camera. I'm like, I don't want to go. It's just a bunch of hippies sitting around getting dressed. Now I think I would go because I'm a little more loose on that. I'm a little more into that. All right, George, you're gonna make me answer. Favorite nude scene in the film? The Dreamers. Ava Green, where she does the Venus de Milo. That blew me away. That's amazing. Dreamers is and that director has gotten a lot of flack from the Me Too side of things because the way he handled that Marlon Brando Last Tango in Paris. I don't think he did a good job. The stories you hear, the way that film was, that wasn't right. But The Dreamers is actually such a fantastically sexual movie, steamy, but like it gets in your head, man. Yeah, The Dreamers, that movie, like, man, it's like being in love. That movie, because you fall in love with Ava Green, and then but you get ripped out of it. Just I've never seen Braveheart. I gotta watch Braveheart. That's another movie I need to watch. Yeah, the Venus de Milo, the one with the broken arms. The way she does it is she's topless, but she's wearing like gloves, and she's standing in a dark hallway, but she's got these gloves up to her shoulders, so she's holding the pose of the Venus de Milo, and you're like, holy moly! It's such a cool scene. Yeah, Clay. Yeah, you got to put on Braveheart for me when I'm over there. We gotta watch some Braveheart. Sure, the kids will love it. Yeah, Pedro, because of The Simpsons, I laugh when I see the guys, but because Simpsons, so the erased was hardcore nudity, and it's Bart's butt the whole time. Worst nude scene? Oh, there's a movie called Die Bitch Die, or Run Bitch Run. that has the worst nudity of all time. It's like, oh, you got all these actresses to be naked, and you just shot them so poorly, and it looks terrible. It just looks like it looks so amateurish and ugly and dirty. And like I realized that they shot the nudity for it's shot for what's it called? It's sexploitation, but like at least some craft in the movie. Yeah. That movie gets way more attention than I need to deserve. I shouldn't be talking about it because it's an indie film and it probably made not far from here, and it's just not good. But it has a great title, Run Bitch Run. I mean, you gotta watch that, right? But don't. I think the sequel was like naked nuns from hell or something like that. I'm like, all right, fine, fine, take my money. Anyhow. Kirby, I want to give the reader a boner if I woman just that naked feeling of sexuality. If I'm in the middle script and the thought occurred to me as a writer, I want to give the reader a boner if a woman just that naked feeling of sexuality. Okay. All right. Like, I don't think you want to, well, do you want to give your reader, maybe you do want to give your reader a boner. Maybe you don't. You know, the boners are part of life. Nude nuns with big guns, that's the one. Yeah, man, YouTube's just hiding anything to do with boobs or nudity or talking about real life here, man. Anyhow, I'm talking episodes. My viewership keeps going up because I'm talking about nudity. So now we're talking. Okay, for a second I thought you were talking about Lolo. No, Run Lola Run's good. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Well, I've heard of it, but I think that's a good film. Run Bitch Run is a sexploitation made by terrible. Well, it was part of the Grindhouse era, where like Quentin Tarantino came out with a Grindhouse movie. Let's all make Grindhouse movies, and it's like, ugh, come on. If you're gonna have nudity, like, shoot it well. Shoot it with a little bit of competency. I'm sorry. They probably watched the video and like, oh, who's this asshole? He hasn't made a feature film. Fuck him. Sorry, just cursed there. There goes my monetization. Anyhow. Sandblaster, I have no idea how I found your stream. Who are you? I feel you are in the know. I don't know anything. I'm just a boy. I'm just a girl. I don't know the rest of the song. Yeah, Run Lola Run is experimental French, and wasn't it by the same guy that did Fifth Element, or am I thinking something else? Yeah. Do I like Trauma? No, not really. Just not my thing. Meryl Rosner, that was good. The girl in martini glass is wonderful. Thank you. I'm shocked they were insensitive. Thank you. I wasn't trying to, people were like angry with me, like, why is she's in a bikini because she's in a liquid. She's taking a bath in martini glass. And then I was kind of making reference to basically the French, absinthe, the green fairy. That was kind of my underlying idea, was she's the green fairy from the absinthe stuff, and that was, obviously going back, 1800s and so forth. But no, it's male gaze. It's you're a complete asshole, John. You're unworthy. You're a disgusting pig. That's that's what I got. That's why I'm single, because I'm a disgusting pig. Thank you, David. I'm so cute. Okay, kill shot Chris. I'm still hanging out. Why am I hanging out? I should be doing stuff. I just like hanging out with you guys. John, what state am I in? California, where we cannot go outside. Nobody watched The Room in Rome. That's not Room in Rome, but that's not Room, like the movie Room in Rome, or is that Room in Rome? Just kidding. Aubrey Plaza. Oh yeah, good old Aubrey Plaza. She is sexy. She is very sexy. Okay. Time for a confession. I think women who are funny are super sexy. Like Bridesmaids, Kristen Wiig, so sexy. Because she's and I'm going to get, here's me being very, very controversial again. Women who will go out on a limb. In evolution, there is, competition. Men compete for women by being creative, by being, the singer. Women don't have to be creative in order to reproduce. They don't. I'm sorry, I'm going to be offensive here. Yes, women in the sexual game, women don't have to do anything. Women are to be fought over, right? So when I see a woman who's creative, who's doing things that are imaginative, who's using her brain to make something cool and to tell a story, or even to do anything, I find that incredibly sexy. I just find that incredibly sexy. And I think somebody was saying online, it was like, how, I don't think women, the term ugly for woman is I think a woman is only, okay, when you apply the word ugly to a woman, it's a description of their personality. Like, I don't find, and I'm not white knighting here, but I think most women are pretty, or at least good looking in some way. And I think when I describe a woman as ugly, it's because of the personality. That might make me a very bad at casting people, because I'm like, oh, they're all good looking. They all look good. If you've got a great personality, you're even more gorgeous, right? But why am I confessing on my channel like this? Getting myself in trouble. Choose an actress you wish to work with, just one, the definitive one. I was a lot Anya Taylor-Joy right now, because she's really good. She's so diverse. She can do so many diverse things. Greta Gerwig, but I loved her in Frances Ha. Such a good movie. There's the old standbys like Scarlett Johansson, but I think, it's like a Meryl Streep would be fun too, because you're going to get something cool out of her. You're going to get something really, really remarkable out of Meryl Streep. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I think when I was casting one of my short films that actually won an award, the one thing that I can choose one handsome actor you'd direct a nude scene. I'm not gay, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of guys like, man, that dude is just like Ewan McGregor is kind of old now, but Ewan McGregor is such a fucking good looking guy, there's a lot of guys you're like, man, like if he did a nude scene, well, they're doing nude scenes that like, even guys are like, yeah, looks good, dude. He looks like a good. So choose one attractive male actor you direct in an erotic scene. I said Ewan McGregor already. I'm sure there's others I can think of. I'm trying to. There's a lot of like male actors. You're like, man, that's a guy's guy, dude. Like I was kind of John Hamm. Oh, there you go, John Hamm. Just another. Just like, dude, how can you be so damn good looking? Gah! I wish I had like a quarter of that. Oh, John Hamm. I'm trying to think of some other dudes I was thinking of. Anyhow, the way lips curve when they smile is like an Olympic event. The camera can capture this. When the director sees it, the act can move the camera in a second. Yeah. Who's Machete? Oh, yeah. The Machete dude. I forget his name too. Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo. Yeah. I don't think I'd necessarily do Danny Trejo in a nude scene. Danny Trejo's kind of got a face that only a mother could love. Look, I said that women can be beautiful. Men can be butt ugly. Danny Trejo's, yeah, kind of fugly. Jason Momoa. Oof. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. Yeah, maybe not my type. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd see him in an erotic scene. I guess we saw it in Game of Thrones, but... What are we talking about, Jeffrey says? What the heck are we talking about, John? Watch, this is my stream just circling the drain here. What, ham? Yeah, John Ham and eggs. That's what we're talking about. John Hamm and turkey and stuffing. That's what we're all getting ready for. John Hamm. Did he probably go through his entire life hearing that joke? Like, hey, John Hamm, where's your buddy Eggs? You know. Oh, choose one dream lens to shoot a film on. Probably one of those old-fashioned, like, Panavisions. Like, I bet you those would probably knock my socks off. Like the ones that we actually shot. I can't even think of the name. I was just watching a clip from that. Lawrence of Arabia. Like the Lawrence of Arabia lenses. Yeah, that'd be my money. That's the money. That's the ticket. That's what I'm talking about. Why are we still here? Why am I still talking to you guys? Because you keep sending up stuff. I was ready to go like half an hour ago, and I'm just like seeing more comments. And I was like, well, let me answer this question. Do you like TV tropes? I love that site. You can sit down there in that site and read a damn thing for like hours on end, and you're like, ugh, I do that too. I do that. Mark Finley, I don't care what we're talking about. I just wanted to pop in and tell you how awesome you are. Oh, thank you. I get like a comment a day telling me I'm an idiot on 24 frames a second. So I do, and I'll be honest, I don't have much people to talk to, so that's what my life is. There it is. Is the future of cinema not 120 frames per second or 3D? What will it be? HDR 100? Oh yeah, so everyone's telling me it's 120 frames per second and all that stuff. You know, the future of cinema, I think it's kind of a fool's journey to try to think, well, you know, we know what the future is because we know what we have now. So I think the future of cinema is still bright. I don't think we've come close to exploring what's possible at 24 frames a second. Not even close. I think we're just starting to explore it, you know. And we'll never finish exploring it because I think we can always remake something. So I don't know what the future of cinema is. I think it's just more films, maybe more accessible, maybe smaller stories. I don't know. We'll see. Good to see you. Thor Rylick says, good to see you. I'm from Brazil. Years ago, I shot a lot of explaining codecs. Oh, thanks for your work. Thank you. Favorite animated film is Coco. Ansel Adams did high definition back in photography 100 years ago. Yep. His advice was to expose for the shadows and develop for the highlights. Good idea. Good advice for today. Although film is a little different in that, expose for the shadows, yeah. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, expose for the shadows. Yeah, that's kind of, it still applies. But film is fun. I've been shooting a little bit style Ansel Adams 4x5, although he did like 8x10s, and 4x5 is a different beast, and it's fun. It's just takes you outside of the regular filmmaking or regular picture making, regular photography. It's just cool. I love 4x5. I don't have the time to spend on it, but you know, yeah, the 24 FPS video. Yeah, I get comments every day on that and the Gemini Man video. The Gemini Man because people have just been like torrenting the 60p version of that, so people go on there like yell at me, oh, Gemini Man was the best film I've ever seen. So somebody said, I watched Gemini Man on Amazon and it was the best experience of my life. Every movie should be shot 120 frames a second. And I told him, Amazon shows that movie at 24 frames per second. And he said, oh, wait, you're right. My bad. And then he deleted his comment. So, yeah, Jeffrey Smimkins, I'm waiting for another surrealist movie to take over film. I agree. But we saw what happened to Cats, so surrealism is not going to be working. Not going to be happening for a while. So, Shalama Meta says I can't choose between Coco and Wall-E. I like Coco better. I think Coco's warmer. There's a warmth to Coco that Wall-E doesn't quite have. Wall-E's kind of cold, and it's just there's some. I liked Wall-E, but it wasn't my favorite. All right, it is now 7:36 my time. I really should close up shop here. Kill shot, Chris. I'm going to answer this. If you could pick a real story to direct a movie about, what would it be? I love the story of. I would love to tell a story about early Hollywood, like 1910s. Tell a story of maybe like what's his name? Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn's or tell a story around Errol Flynn or something in that era. because that was when Hollywood was completely new. Everything was experimental. Everything was totally fresh, and there was boatloads of cash being made everywhere. And then the Great Depression happened. So, but yeah, early 10s, 20s. I think that's the story I would set, and I would probably pick a story around movies. So, oh, Meryl agrees with me about funny women. I think funny women are sexy as hell, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why'd you retract that comment? Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. I really must go. I need to get some spices for tomorrow's turkey day. I do wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving out there. If you start of the holidays, if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, well, take some time to think about what you're thankful for. The world is a big place. It doesn't always work out your way, but there's plenty to be thankful for. There's always things you can do. Well, there's always tomorrow. It ain't over until it's over, right? As long as you're breathing. As long as you're breathing, you tell me there's a chance? There's always something to do. There's always something to learn, explore, and have fun. Alrighty, guys. Say F, and I will see you guys later. Take care, guys. Bye-bye now.